Hi, how you doing everyone? For today's lesson, we are going to learn about past participle spelling rule. Do you know the reason why you have to learn about it? Because it is one of the most important part of the present perfect form. To be honest with you, I think it's not very easy for you, but nothing you cannot do. You have to remember, I believe in you, okay? Try your best to do it. If you're not sure now, okay, just go back to the video again, try to learn it day by day, okay? That's why you will be successful in your learning, understand? Learning not only just one day, you learn every day, okay? So now, let's go to the lesson. Past participle spelling rules. For past participle spelling rule, it's involved with the regular verb. We are not talking about irregular verb. So for irregular verb, past participle, you have to remember. Okay? Very easy for you. Try to make, it's easy for you. Try to remember. You understand? But for spelling, the past participle spelling rule of the regular verb is not easy. You have to follow the rules. Understand? Now, please have a look at rule number 1. Verbs ending in E, just add D to the verb. Rule number 1. Every verb ending in letter E, just add D to the verb. So we have past participle. Okay? Now, please have a look at this. For example, like E at the end of the verb. So you don't need to do anything else. Just add D at the end. So you have liked. Liked. Alright. So what do you see at the end of the verb? What do you see? E at the end of the verb. So that is not, difficult for you to do that, just only add letter D. That's why you have arrived. Decide, you have got one more E, okay? So when you make into past participle, you have to add one D, that's enough, okay? That's enough. Thrive here, have got E, letter E at the end, so you just add only D at the end of the verb. So thrived. Guzzle. So guzzle at the end of the verb guzzle, we have got letter E, one letter E. So you just add D at the end of the verb. Okay? Just try to remember this. Dine. You have got E at the end of the verb. So when you make into past participle, you have to use one more D. We have dined. Bake, we got E at the end. So when you make into past participle, we have to add D only. So baked. Understand? Let's go to the other one. Type. T-Y-P-E. So E at the end of the verb. So you don't need to do anything else besides adding letter D. Okay, after the verb, we have past participle. You try to remember single word E at the end of the verb. Before making it into past participle, you have to add only D. Understand? Make it clear, right? Let's go to the other one. Hope. What do you have at the end of the verb? E. Single E at the end of the verb. So the rule says verbs ending in E, just add D at the end of the verb. That's it. Hoped. Injure. E at the end of the verb. And then when you go to past participle, you have to add one more D. That's it. Nothing more, right? Nothing more. Smile. E at the end. And we go to past participle, you have to add one more D. We have smiled. Date, E at the end. And we make into past participle, we have dated. Just only add D at the end of the verb. That's all. Hate, E at the end of the verb. Okay? So, before you make into past participle, so you have to add only D. So we have hated. Rake, E at the end of the verb. Past participle, add one more D. So we have raked. Raked. Okay? So let's go to rule number 2. Verbs ending in consonant plus Y. Remember again, verbs ending in consonant plus Y. Change letter Y to letter I and then add ED. For rule number 1, you do not add ED, you just add only D because we have got letter E at the end of the verb. Okay? So you don't need to add ED, you just add only D, right? And how about rule number 2? Everything you have to follow the rule. Okay? Try to follow the rules. Okay? If you don't follow the rules, it's your problem. Okay? Now let's go again. Verbs ending in consonant plus Y. We have to change letter Y to letter I first and then add ED after the verb. That's it. Now let's have a look. Carry. Carry. Okay? Y at the end of the verb carry. Okay, and on the other hand, in front of the verb carry, we have or is a consonant. So or is a consonant, okay, and Y over here, that's why you have to change letter Y to letter I. And don't forget ED at the end. So, carry, C-A-R-R, and then change Y to I. Understand? Lastly, ED. Carried. Carried. Okay? Let's go to another example. Try. Do not pronounce try. I try to study hard. Please be careful with your pronunciation, right? Do not say I try. I try. Try. Train. Tree, right? Not try, train, tree, no. So, try, we got Y at the end of the verb. In front of Y, we have got one of a consonant. So, rule number 2 says, in case that verb ending in a consonant plus Y, change letter Y to letter I, and lastly, you have to add ED. This is the right spelling rule of past participle, regular verb. Understand? Right? So what do we have now? Change letter Y to letter I. First step. Step 1. Change letter Y to letter I. And then it's not enough yet. You have to add ED at the end. We have the right spelling of past participle. Okay? Let's go to another one. Study. What do you have in here? This is a consonant. And Y at the end. Consonant and then Y at the end. So you cannot use ED straight away. Understand? The rule doesn't say that. The rule says consonant plus Y, change Y to I, and then plus ED. So what do we have now? Let's do together. Study, S-T-U-D, change Y to I first. And the second step, we have to add ED. We have past participle of study. So studied, okay? Cry, don't say cry. I cry because of you. No, I cry because of you. Try to have the right pronunciation of that, okay? Try. I don't think you cannot do, okay? But don't be shy. Shyness is your big enemy. It's the big enemy of study, okay? So don't be shy, right? Cry. Y at the end. In front of Y we have letter R, so it's one of the consonant. So we have I here. I change from letter Y, and then don't forget ED. Okay? Another one, fry. Fry. So fry here, Y at the end of the verb. And before letter Y we have R, one of the consonant. That's why you have to change letter Y to letter I and then ED, fried. Worry, okay? Y at the end again, or in the front. We have I, ED, worried, okay? Dry, D-R-Y, dry, dry. Dry. D-R-I change from letter Y. So ED, dried. Are you clear? Alright. Let's practice more. Exemplify. Not exam. Exemplify. Exemplify. So exemplify, Y is at the end of the verb, and in front of the word Y we have got a consonant F. F is one of the consonants. You understand? The vowel we have I, E, A, O, U, and the rest of that it must be called a consonant. Okay? So exemplify. Exemplify. And when we go to the past participle spelling rule, we have to see rule number 2. Y at the end, before Y we have got letter F, is one of the consonant. That's why we have to change Y to letter I and ED at the end. We have exemplified. Exemplified. Okay. Falsify. Falsify. Y again, consonant again, and then we have I, E, D. Falsified. The right form of past participle spelling rule. Okay? Fancy. Look at the word at the end of the verb. Letter Y. And in front of letter Y, we have one of the consonant, letter C. Okay? So you cannot just add ED straight away to the verb like that. No way. You have to follow the rule. You don't need to follow me, right? Follow the rule. So Y at the end, C is one of the consonant, it goes to rule number 2. That's why we have Y here, change to I and then ED. Make sure that you understand it well, right? Let's go to another example. Flurry. Flurry. So flurry, Y at the end, or in front of Y, so we have flurry. Okay, flurried. 45. 45. Y at the end, F with one of the consonant, rule number 2. Change letter Y to letter I, and then don't forget ED. Again and again, again and again, again and again. That I think if you just listen to me again and again, again and again, and take note, you don't need to study one more time. You understand that? If you are clever. But anyway, try to study more and more if you still not understand, right? Now let's go to another one. Tidy. See again, Y at the end. D is one of the consonant, so you have to change letter Y to letter I and then ed. Tidied, tidied. Okay. Bury, bury. Y at the end, or is in the front, is one of the consonant, so we have I change from letter Y and then don't forget ed. So today's lesson we are going to focus on two rules. Rules number 1, it says verbs ending in single E or E at the end. You just add D to the verb, we have past participle. Understand? And rule number 2, verbs ending in a consonant, and after consonant we have got letter Y. Before we add ed, we have to change letter Y to letter I, and then lastly, do not forget to add ed. If you just change letter Y to letter I and then you forget to add ed, you're still wrong. This is not the correct form of past participle, regular verb. Okay? So now let's go back again. This time a little bit faster. Rule number 1. Verbs ending in E add D. Like, liked. Arrive, arrived. Decide, decided. Thrive, thrived. Guzzle, guzzle, guzzled. Dine, dine, dined. Bake, bake, baked, baked. Type, type, typed. Hope, hope, hoped. Injure, injure, injured, injured. Smile, smile, smiled, smiled. Date, dated. Hate, hated. Rake, raked or raked. So let's go to rule number 2, faster. Verbs ending in a consonant plus Y, change letter Y to letter I, and don't forget add ed at the end of the verb after changing to letter I. Carry, carried. Try, tried. Study, studied. Cry, cried. Fry, fried. Worry, worried. Dry, dried. Exemplify, exemplified. Falsify, falsified. Fancy, fancied. Flurry, flurried. Fortify, fortified. Tidy, tidied. Bury, bury. So that's all for today's lesson. Okay? Before ending, I would like to say thank you so much for all of you for your strongly support my Facebook page and also YouTube channel, Learning English with TSK. Please continue to support my channel. And don't forget, if you have any comment, please write down your comment in order to make my video better and better. That is for me and also for you. Okay? So, thank you very much one more time. See you for the next video. Thank you.